Hi beautiful ladies, welcome back to another vlog. Honestly, it's already midweek. I don't really film Monday to Tuesday because nothing interesting really happens. Usually I'm working a lot beginning of the week, so that the rest of the week I can just take it more easy, see friends and all of that. Just getting ready to see a friend. I'm gonna be working from this hotel. It's a very beautiful boutique hotel. I'll show you guys later. But yeah, I do enjoy working from beautiful places. It's something that I feel like I've started incorporating this year. Just working in places that inspire me and that uplift me. It's a total different experience, and you don't even need a lot of money if you want to try this. You can just get a cup of coffee, and you still get the whole experience, the service. So I highly recommend doing that if you feel uninspired. As of this week, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning of the week I felt a little bit uneased and restless, slightly discouraged with everything going on. Not that anything bad happened at all, it's just more like opinions and stuff like that. And I've been reflecting a lot more this week, especially the first few days. I've been journaling so much, and I wanted to share with you ladies a message that I got from a Bible study this morning. Today I read John 14:27, and it says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." And I honestly needed to hear that, and I think it's something that I've genuinely been struggling with a little bit and trying to find peace in circumstances constantly. And it's a bad tendency of mine. Even before I came in the faith, I've always been so, discouraged sometimes by circumstances. Although yes, I keep going, I keep persevering, I still feel unease inside. The beginning of this year, ladies, or end of last year, my finances were just not they were not okay. I was struggling. I had loans, student loans to pay, a big amount to pay every single month, and I was just telling myself, like, how am I going to ever pay this? Like, I don't make enough to pay this and have budget for myself. And then I started earning more by the grace of God. Thank the Lord, I started earning more. But I noticed that now as I earn more and maybe I'm more successful in what I do, the goalpost keeps moving and moving and moving, and I'm not even grateful for the situation that I've actually been praying for the longest time. And I literally really prayed for these times, and it's like I want more all the time. I want more, I need more. And that is because I'm relying on a peace that comes from the world. The peace that comes from the world, it's, if I get this, I will be happy, I'll be fulfilled. And the reality is, and it's like so weird because everybody talks about this, but the reality is you actually never feel truly peaceful once you actually receive that amount or achieve that goal. Like, there's always something more to achieve. And another thing is, like, when you're constantly trying to achieve this peace that comes from the world and not from God, it's like you're always relying on your own efforts, on your own willpower, on you're crediting yourself to basically achieving all of the success, which, yes, you've worked hard, but at the same time, God is the one who handed out the opportunities to you and who opened up the doors for you. So you cannot forget about that. And I think a lot of us, we forget about that, and then we become even more unease and not peaceful because we feel like we have to keep working super, super hard to still make this stay. Whereas if you really just rest in God and trust that, He actually will bring out the opportunities, and when He does, He will bless it and it won't move. It's like a total different peace that you just get to experience. I'm not saying we're just supposed to be, doing nothing and just waiting for opportunities to come by God, because no, I think we have a big role to play. Like, since the garden, we have been commissioned to actually put in effort and to work like we are meant to work. That is in our purpose. So it's not about being lazy. We have an active role in this, but at the same time, we cannot take full credit in any of our achievements, because when we do, we're actually compiling the steps. I read this article, and at some point it says the fact is the more a person seeks credit for himself by his own efforts, the deeper he goes into debt. And that just, honestly, that makes so much sense now with the reality that I'm living in. The harder you try to work to be praised, to be validated, and to be noticed by your own efforts, the more enslaved you actually become to these external noise, these external voices. And it's just so, it all just makes sense. It all just makes sense. And the thing is, even if you don't agree with me on faith or a belief in God, and honestly, I totally understand because I used to be non-believer. The reality is, even if you do try to seek peace from external achievements, you will never be fulfilled. So I just hope this at least encouraged one person. I know that at least one person watching this feels not at peace. I felt this way, so I just felt the need to kind of share with you ladies and encourage you that the true peace that you should be seeking for is the peace that comes from God, from Jesus, for myself. Genuinely, it's a total different peace that I've been able to experience with him. And again, this is why I highly recommend you ladies actually set aside time every single day to pray and to speak to God and to read scripture. I can't even go if I go one day without this, I'm doomed. I'm doomed, and I become a little bit short-tempered, and I just need a constant reminder that it is not for my own will, it is not for my own efforts, that I'm doing this through God's grace and God's power. Like, I need to lower myself and be so humbled so that God's power can just fill in my life. And that's just been such a big thing in my life recently. Yeah, I hope you also enjoy this vlog. I'll take you guys along with me, so we'll have a lot of fun together. Mwah. This cat keeps massaging me. What a cute cat. This cat used to be extremely shy, and now she's so cuddly. I love you so much. Hello. I'm with
Me.
you. She's Farah, and I love
Farah.
her so freaking much.
Shut up.
We're just enjoying and living our best lives.
You know what? You're just starting your vlog and you're gonna make me cry.
Stop.
No.
She's always crying. Every time I say something nice about her, I'm gonna cry.
I'm too much of a baby. No.
Yes. No. I know, right?
Oh my god.
Hello. It's been a while since I vlogged. I think last time, well, actually it was probably 2 days ago. Anyway, I'm now in a hotel. It's kind of like an apartment hotel. Super spontaneous. Like, we booked this super last minute. Honestly, I wish I had a cool reason, but it's for just like mental rest, mental sanity purposes. And I just needed a break from everything and to literally step aside and be in a new environment. So my partner got me a apartment hotel, like super nearby, just for me to focus and rest. Oh my god, what is this? just for me to focus and rest in my own time. Also, they got me a cake, which is pretty nice. I'll show you guys the room in a second, but yeah, my friend is gonna be joining as well at probably in a few hours. She'll come here, we'll just chill and maybe watch a movie or something. I'll show you guys the room now. So we have the standard bathroom, and it's just a simple, very simple room. Everything I kind of wanted from a just night in. And we have the whole Jakarta view, which is pretty nice as well. There's the cake. Yay. I'm not out here to just complain because I'm very happy to be here. But when I first arrived, I was like, I had to cross the pool area to get to my room. And it was just like these group of weird, creepy old men. And I don't like this about the culture here in Indonesia. Sometimes like men just be looking and staring at you, just the most disgusting way. I honestly wanted to go to the pool, but I'm not gonna go to the pool because I'm not giving them the satisfaction. I'm not giving them the satisfaction of me being in a bathing suit. That is just no. I feel a little bit thrown off inside. I don't know why men do that. I think it's gross, especially when it's like a whole group. Change of events.
The time is 8:34.
We had too many red flags in this hotel and we are out. We're not coming back. It was a good time though. We watched a movie.
We had other plans.
But tell us the red flags that we
wanted to
had.
do a spa, and I was like, okay, I'm down. It's Friday.
No.
I was more stressed actually.
We went in and first thing we noticed, it smells like cigarettes, like so.
Like really heavy too. Like someone actually smoking in there.
Yeah, exactly. And then, again, and this other thing that we're probably facing now, it's just a bunch of weird men. Do you want to go by?
Yes. And we were talking in English, whatever. And then we ring the bell, and the lady comes out. But before she comes out, we can hear her coming out. And she was like, oh, English. And I'm like, because we were still speaking in English. But she was like kind of like mocking us. And
like,
she
okay.
came out, and she's like, English? And 1 hour? And then we're like, yeah. And then she starts saying it in Indo. And she's like, oh
my god, why does it smell like fart, by the way?
Oh,
yeah.
They put it in the same room at first.
Yes.
She offered. She was like, this is the room. Okay. And we were dancing, and we were like vlogging and everything.
Yeah.
And then she came back 5 seconds later, and she's like, oh, actually, you have to move. And we're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And we were so confused. And she was like, because this is only for couples.
Wait, let me check out first and we'll pursue.
Part 2. Where were we?
Yes, in the room when they told us to separate because initially we were in the room mixed together, and then suddenly like, no, actually you can't because this is just for couples. And I'm like, oh, is there like another booking or something?
Yes,
like,
we thought there was another couple that is actually going to use the room, and she's like, no, that's actually the procedure. Like, if you're not a couple, you have to be put in
separate
different rooms.
rooms.
And I asked, is there something different in between a couple and the not couple? And they're the exact same thing, but it's just more expensive. So we were in the hallway. We were like talking in front of this lady, like,
should we do it?
Are you sure?
It was like such a long. I don't know why it felt so long. Like they were just staring and,
like,
waiting.
Do you want to? And
do
we're
you
like,
want to do this? I'm like, sure.
And in the end, we said yes. But then we were in our separate rooms. I don't know what she was doing in her room, but I was literally sitting on the edge of the bed, and I don't even want to change to the rope because
I changed.
I didn't know that we're supposed to change because there's not, usually in a spa they would give you like a spare underwear or something.
Yeah.
There wasn't any of that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to touch the rope. So I was like, am I supposed to be here butt naked or what? No one told me anything. I was so confused. And then I texted her Oh, she texted you. Texted
I
me.
texted her and I was like, weird place. Like, what is this? And then she was like, should we go? Should we still do this? I still feel so weird right now. I think we heard our intuition and like, okay, there's too many red flags, and we just went, and they were not happy. I just felt like it looked like a place where there's additional services, you know, because additional
How do I say this?
special services, because the demographic here seems to be a lot of, how do you say, what's another word for
peculiar,
interesting men who like to stare at, you know, women.
Oh, we are being stared at every time we pass by the freaking lobby.
Yeah, so it's too many weird things going on. So we're going home.
We're going home after
we're
like
going home.
3 hours.
Hi ladies, I am back home now. It is the next day. It is Saturday morning now. Saturdays are usually for family time, but I kind of feel like I want to work before. Usually Saturdays I take it very, very slow. I don't really work that much, although I do sometimes end up working at night. But I don't know, this morning I just wanted to work, not necessarily like working on specific tasks, but actually zooming out on the business and kind of having a look. I've been doing that yesterday as well. It's super helpful for me to zoom out sometimes and to kind of reevaluate things. And anyway, in the beginning of this video, we talked about being content, finding peace in where you're at, as opposed to constantly chasing what's next. And with that, I think this week I've had a bit of, I was thinking to myself, like, I still have so many goals. Like, I don't want to stop pursuing them, because it really gives me meaning as well, you know, to pursue something each day. It gives me drive. Like, I have so much drive and I want to pursue things. I don't think God wants us to be doing nothing. And funnily enough, I reached back to my library that I have, and I read this book maybe a few months ago, 10x is easier than 2x. I highly recommend, and this is maybe just not a book that you would see me reading, but I actually do enjoy sometimes from time to time reading these kinds of business books, because it's super helpful. And I just wanted to share this with you ladies. If you're struggling, you know, if you're in this place where you're like, I need to be grateful for where I'm at, but I also want to pursue other things in life and not just stay here. Like, I want more out of my life than just to, you know, like to stay in the same place that I'm in and have been for the last few years. There is a clear answer to this, and it's actually reevaluating the past and almost like celebrating your past. And this might sound super simple, but a lot of us, we tend to forget doing this, and we have these ideals. That's what the book talked about. We have so many ideals, and most of the time they're actually ideals and they're not necessarily all reachable. Like, you're probably not going to achieve every single thing in the time frame that you set out yourself to. And these are ideals. And when we don't reach these ideals, we feel like, oh, by now I should be in a place that I'm clearly not right now. So I feel so not confident about pursuing my goals in the future. And I've definitely done that, where I set up ideals for myself. I'm like, by this date, I will have already achieved this and I won't be worrying about this anymore. And that date happens and it doesn't come to life. And the thing that you need to realize, it's like what Steve Jobs said, it's like you can only connect the dots backwards, not moving forward. And that's why it's so important for you to look at all the 10 X's in your life, like when you first started driving, or when you first started that new business, or when you graduated, things like this, like all the times that it was like a 10x in your life. You need to remember that, so that it gives you the confidence for you to go 10x in the future. And you're not discouraged because you feel like, oh, you're not where you're supposed to be. Like, no, you're actually, if you really evaluate, like, you've done a really good job. And this thing, like, we do the same with kids as well. For example, if you have a kid and you see your kid could be doing so much better at school, and the peers are doing so much better than your child, you have to also remind yourself of all the progress that the child has made. And that's how you will encourage your child. It's the same thing with you, because if you're constantly whining about your past, you're almost like in this victim mode. And one thing about us ladies, we're not in a victim mindset, but you're always in this victim mindset, and you project that past or that perception of the past into the future. So now you bring that same energy in the future. You think you're doing things, but you're not confident that it's going to work out, because deep down inside of you, you're like, I've tried so many things and I've never amounted to the ideal that I set out for myself. I just quote what the author here says: regularly referencing your own progress also helps you to truly embrace your own game in life. You're not competing with anyone, you're on your own unique path. You're having your own unique experiences and converting those experiences into new insights, standards, and growth. When you go through so much failure and maybe not everything goes as planned, you take every single thing as a lesson, as an insight for your business, for your life. And it's the difference between being in gain or in a gap. That's what he says, like these two mindsets. Gain is when you're like, okay, everything kind of happens for me and I can learn through every single experience. Or in gap is like, I failed so much in the past that is what's new, like nothing else will change in the future. And the emotional signature of the gain is dopamine. The emotional signature of the gap is cortisol. So if you feel a lot of stress, a lot of fartation, a lot of frustration, that you might be living in this gap. Then what he recommends is like writing your wins every single day to kind of remind yourself like, okay, we're making progress in the business, we're making progress in our personal life and our friendships. And it really motivates you to keep going forward, as opposed to being in this victim mode of, oh my God, like I really had all these goals and I'm not where I'm at all. And on that note, there's another quote that he said: having a problematic past doesn't support creating a bigger future. On the contrary, having negative energy, emotions, and created meaning about your past, so the perception of your past, only perpetuates the fact that your future won't be any different. So it's not necessarily what happened in the past, but more the perception of the past, your perception of the past. So this is exactly what I needed to read, honestly. Final quote: when you're measuring yourself against ideals, it's like measuring yourself against the moving horizon and then being mad at yourself for not being at the horizon. The news flash is you can't ever reach the horizon. There will always be ideals, even in faith. You know, we have the ideal of being Christ-like and to become like Christ. Are we ever going to become like Christ in this world and to fully be like him? Probably 100%, not probably, but 100% no, because we're still human after all. We can never reach the ideals. There never will be a time where you're like, oh, I've reached everything that I want in life. There will never be that time. And you need to realize that instead of constantly like looking in the future, hoping for that time, there will never be a time where you're super confident about every single thing in your life, because you're in a flawed world and there's always more. And I think it's also part of us as humans. Like, it's good to have some sort of drive to want more out of life. But that's why you need to, number one, have gratitude for where you're at, but also look at the past and have that, sense of, how do you say, like assurance and not safety, but just assurance that you're on the right track. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what we want, right? We just want some sort of contentment. And I think, like I mentioned in the beginning, that's why your relationship with God is so important, because that's what really keeps you stable through all of the crazy circumstances. And you see, for example, so many characters in the Bible, like Job, and how he lost everything, but he still had a relationship with God, and how that kept him through, and in the end, like, he gained everything back. I feel like it's so there's so many stories that you can learn in the Bible in regards to that. The rest of my weekend was full of family time, as usual on Saturdays. I tried these dough lab cookies, by the way. 100% recommend them. They're so yummy.
and so soft in the inside. I just shared it with my sister, and afterwards I went and got myself some new denim, had a nice workout at the end. It is truly a time for me to de-stress, and it's so important, especially in weeks where I feel a bit stressed. And of course, solo time is obviously so important for an ambivert and slightly introverted person like me. I love being alone, going to places alone. I really feel like I'm becoming my own best friend. I mean, I've always been my own best friend, but I also visited this new church. The message was so timely. I had to tell the pastor that my jaw absolutely dropped. I really believe that God brings people to speak to you sometimes, and for me this week it was Danielle. She was talking about the peace that we're talking about in the beginning of the video. It's absolutely insane. And I finished the day with my brothers. They are absolutely my best friends. My heart literally feels so warm right now looking at these videos, but I'm just so grateful for my siblings and just for the people around me. Ladies, like, don't isolate yourself if you are in a low season. Surround yourself with people because they absolutely love you and want to spend time with you.